motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. No department comments today. How about that? Mayor Maddox?
Yes, sir. First, I want to thank everyone who's involved as it relates to the Mayor's Cup. We had close to 2,100 registered, which is our largest in history. 1,500 plus runners. Certainly a fun day that ultimately will raise a lot of money for pre-K. I want to thank the council members that came out, Mr. Busby, Mr. Lanier, Ms. Howard. I hope you heard your shout outs at various times. I want to thank the entire council for your support. And so hopefully after we reimburse the city for all expenses, we'll have a good donation to pre-K. And plus it's just another fun time, quality of life event in Tuscaloosa. You know, whether it's what Mr. Busby does with the Gauntlet or Mayor's Cup or other events like that, what you do in Alberta during Christmas. We've seen all of you have some sort of community event. It's just a good, wholesome event. And that's a good thing to have in this day and age. So certainly I want to thank everyone who is responsible. K-Day is out of town on business, but certainly her group did a fantastic job. I can't thank enough PD and the security they provide, but all the different departments of the city made it come together. The second thing, as y'all are more than aware, we have a presidential visit on Thursday. This is our 4th presidential visit in 14 years. President Obama actually visited us 14 years ago today. As Mr. Tyner well knows.
Remember it well. Sunburn and all.
Yeah. And fortunately, this presidential visit is a lot better than that in terms of the circumstances 14 years ago. Each presidential visit comes, as it should, with the President of the United States, security measures that have to be taken. And that also means disruption. Although there's no, we certainly can't give out details. I would advise our constituents, and you can use your social media to amplify this as well, that in the afternoon and evening hours, expect disruptions to traffic especially. But just expect disruptions. If that's just part of any normal presidential visit. And so things will not be as they normally are from a traffic standpoint in the afternoon and evening hours. And so just please be advised of that. If all possible, I would, if you don't need to be in the central part of the city, I wouldn't be in the central part of the city.
Some of us don't have that luxury.
But
Mayor, when will we know, or will we know,
you really
which routes are
you
not
will
until we run into them?
Yes. And that's understandable.
Yeah.
It's for security. And so, we talked about it this morning. There's going to be, some who say, well, we didn't know this was coming. That's kind of part of it. And Chief, I didn't prepare you for this, but if you want to echo this, because Chief Blankley has done a good job coordinating this. Anything you want to add? I know we're permitted to provide details, but anything that the city council should know that they could expect to hear from their constituents on?
Just know that the police department, the fire department, and other departments of the city are working very hard to provide a very safe environment. As Mayor said, there will be traffic disruptions. We're not going to put the times out. We're not going to put the plan out or anything like that for safety, but we're doing everything we can do to keep everything flowing as much as we possibly can. If there's congestion or anything like that, we apologize, but we're having to deal with some very strict requirements. We're doing everything we can to balance safety with the rest of the city going along with their business.
If you have any questions, just text me. So we'll do everything we can to hopefully be able to answer those questions for you. I'll close with this though, and as I've told every media outlet that has asked, it is an honor and privilege to host the Commander-in-Chief of our country. It is an honor and privilege. And any time that you can host the President of the United States in a city of Tuscaloosa size, 113,000, and that the President wants to be in your city, that is a positive thing. Us in this room don't have the luxury of protesting. We have the responsibility of providing public safety, infrastructure, and other quality of life amenities to our constituents. Much of that comes through the graces of the federal government. So it is, certainly for our constituents, for our community, it's very important that our president have a safe visit and enjoyable time in Tuscaloosa. So I can promise you that your city staff, we're all doing everything we can to ensure that for President Trump in this year. And that's all I have. Mr.
No
Knight.
executive sessions today?
No, sir.
You know, it's just a little memory when I was a Cub reporter at Channel 33 when Ronald Reagan came. And that was a packed Coleman Coliseum, then Memorial Coliseum. But social media is so different today that Ronald Reagan stopped at a McDonald's, as we all know, and sat down with actually a person I know very well. Just sat down and had a Big Mac with him, and then in Northport. And I certainly hope that as much as we're welcome our president, I hope President Trump doesn't decide to stop at a McDonald's on his way out.
Well, if he does, I
He may
hope
work there.
If he does, I hope
He
it's in
might work there.
Tuscaloosa. I hope it's in Tuscaloosa for the sales
I hope it's
tax.
in Tuscaloosa and not Northport.
Yeah, that's right, for
Yeah.
the sales tax.
Yeah, this friend, the guy I know, and many of y'all know him, he said he was just sitting there having his lunch, and President Reagan walks in and said, "Do you mind if I sit down with you?" Shared a Big Mac with him, and you know what? That's just
And I
amazing.
promise you, the Secret Service didn't know he was gonna do that.
No.
I was working at that time with the police department.
They still have a sign on that chair that where he sat.
Chris, you got a clean garbage truck to get into the Coliseum?
We can do
Thank you, Mr. Tyner.
Yes, thank you very much, and I really do thank you, Walt. I asked you a few questions. I posted on Facebook how much I appreciated you because 18-year commitment is a lot, and to do it year after year, and the monies that just continue to rise for pre-K, it's really I really admire you for that because a lot of things don't last that long, and this is 18 years now.
Well, it's Sedell Bullard's idea, and we've taken it.
I remember that now.
Who's that again?
Sedell Bullard.
Former,
He
he
was
was
HS.
deputy HR director, and he's the one that came to me with the idea, and it's as long as people still enjoy it and people still turn out, we'll keep doing it because the money goes into the fund.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely, it's very true. All right, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, council.
Afternoon.
I'm not used to not having anybody up before me. I am actually about the middle of page 1 where we have another vote on item on page 4 through 11, which would be amending section 19-229 and 19-235 of the Code of Tuscaloosa pertaining to employee vehicle policy. Beyond that, we'll jump down to the top of page 2, where on page 15, you'll be authorizing the purchase of equipment, supplies, or services for the Ballard Park fiber improvements. This is a total of $37,610.19. This is a previously budgeted purchase. On page 16, you'll be amending a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a reimbursable joint funding agreement with the University of Alabama for the Hackberry Lane to University Boulevard overhead to underground utilities project phase 2. This is a total not to exceed reimbursable amount of $1 million and was discussed in projects last week. On page 17, you'll be authorizing a contract for professional engineering and related services with Duncan Coker and Associates for Hargrove roadway capacity improvements at McFarland Boulevard. This is a total of $79,910 that was discussed in projects last week. On page 18, you'll be authorizing the termination of a contract with Brink Drones. This comes from the Tuscaloosa Police Department. On page 19 and 20, you'll be authorizing the city attorney to initiate condemnation proceedings and to take other necessary actions for the acquisition of property for the University Boulevard East project. This comes to you from my office, and I believe was on projects last week. On page 21, you'll be accepting the sanitary sewer mains and pump station for a Stonebrook subdivision. This comes to you from the office of city attorney. Yes, sir.
What are the details on that?
On the Stonebrook subdivision,
Yeah.
I will let the city engineer give you those details. I couldn't do math or draw well enough.
So this is a standard process. The developer built the infrastructure to city standards. We've inspected it. Everything is to our specifications. It becomes public infrastructure, and we take over the maintenance.
Where is Stonebrook?
Stonebrook is on Old Greensboro Road. If you're familiar with Bear Creek,
I am.
shopping center where the Piggly Wiggly and all is, it's, I don't know, 300 or 400 yards south of that on the west side of the road.
What are the typical gotchas when we accept from a subdivision?
Nothing, you know, just we're the anticipation would be maybe in the next 15 or 20 years, we might be looking at replacement of some parts
But that could well pertain to anything we did as well, correct?
for every pump
So
station we have
there's,
in the city.
there's no typical issues we run into on those.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
On page 22, you'll be authorizing amendment number 3 to the 2022 A warrant series budget. This was discussed in finance last week. And on page 23 through 24, you'll be authorizing amendment number 10 to the FY25 General Fund Reserve for Future Improvements Fund budget. This, again, was discussed in finance on the 22nd. Are there any questions for me?
Questions for Scott?
Thank you.
Scott, I want to thank you. Scott and I had a really good meeting yesterday about concerning all you all. And you know that, so you're making your plans, following the swearing in on May 19th. We will be back here for our organizational meeting. And among those will be, I just got your email,
Yes.
and I hadn't read it all yet, but so May 19th is a Monday, May 20th is when we'll start our council meetings at 5 o'clock.
Okay, what day?
May 20th,
Tuesday.
yes. And so from now on, this will be one of the last council meetings that we start at 6. And there'll be some slight modifications to the committees, but Scott and I discussed yesterday, after what we all discussed a couple weeks before. We discussed only amongst ourselves, the willingness to want to go to a 5 o'clock meeting. That's what I should be very clear about. But thank you.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Tyner, as I put in the email to you, the resolution that sets the meeting schedule is not something that can only be done after an election or only be done once every 4 years.
Sure.
We will be changing things that haven't really been changed for a decade plus.
Correct.
And so if we get a couple months into it and say, hey, this isn't working, we need to change and make some tweaks, easy to do.
Thank you. That was a quick turnaround. And I know you had a long day yesterday.
Counselor, so the meeting, and I know we got an email about it, but I just don't remember.
Yeah.
So it starts at what time?
On starting May 20th, the day after swearing in.
Organizational meeting.
It'll be right after swearing in at noon.
So we will have an opportunity for, if you guys need some more time to discuss, there will be a meeting between 11 and 2. But the actual meeting in which the votes will take place will start at 2 o'clock,
Okay,
What time's the inauguration?
10 a.m.,
10
10
a.m.
a.m., okay.
And it should be over by
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
And so you want us here about what time?
I actually will go through all of that with you. You guys have some very specific instructions, so I'll go over that with you guys when we finish up.
Okay, sounds good.
She made me cut my speech down to 2 hours.
That
Really just, because that third hour was where,
That third hour, you'll have it to yourself.
was my favorite hour.
Yeah.
I know, right? No, I think in years past, we had time to go out with family after the inauguration, but we're just gonna jump right back into meetings, okay?
Yeah, and
That's fine.
you're right. You know, that was something we used to, that was always my time to take the supporters out, thank them after lunch, but,
We're gonna get right to work, that's fine.
we'll get.
the organizational meeting shouldn't last more than 5 or 10 minutes unless
Yeah, I wouldn't anticipate that either. So we'll get to that, like you said, but the organizational meeting actually starts at 2, but we'll have plenty of time to take pictures and kiss your babies and supporters and then get back here. I think everybody's happy about the 5 o'clock start, including the staff. Like Scott, we said yesterday, you know, nobody wants to be here at 6, you know, it's not gonna be here at 5. So, but, But then, one thing, the pre-council will still start at 1:30, and then depends on what committees are on those days. Anyway, it keeps us, I can't remember a time when we ever we were usually through at 5 o'clock. You know, and then you have to sit around and wait, or I go to Publix and do my shopping or whatever, you know, and Lee goes feeds Petey.
Go
and-
feed Petey.
So,
Well, and that 6 o'clock time has been since the council adopted the rules of procedure in 85.
yes, right.
And times have changed, people's access to us is so much easier now. So, I think it's
You'll be able to get to your son's ball games.
You know, it will be in many ways.
Alabama basketball.
Yeah.
You know, every 24 years of doing it at least once a week at 6 o'clock, it will be a nice change.
Yes, I think so too. So, but that will be after, the 20th should be the first one for that, and, gosh, I forget. Anyway, maybe it'll come to me, or maybe it won't. But, anyway, projects 2:30, finance 3:15, insurance and litigation, 4 o'clock, and then council meeting at 6. And I think just what I was gonna say was that for the last several weeks, we've sat here at 10 minutes till 5 and just waiting till 6 o'clock, so I think it'll be great. All right, Historic Preservation Commission will meet in council chambers, 5 o'clock. Any other comments, communications from anyone?
I think we got a ribbon cutting tomorrow.
We do.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's for the mayor's pickleball courts.
Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking for the
I
mayor's
was thinking,
pickleball.
man, they work quick on that.
Well, Eric promised me it was gonna get going real quick, and so far he's delivered. But I'm very excited that we're gonna get started on that quicker than I thought. And thank you, Mayor.
Cassius, didn't you, Impact Nation, you guys do a community cleanup this past weekend?
We did clean up, Kerry Ash actually sponsored citywide cleanup.
Countywide.
I just saw
Countywide.
I just saw your stuff with Impact
Yeah.
Nation on there.
Yeah, we have a team there, and we had a team in District 7, so after I left there, I went over there.
I wanted to be there, but we were at the Mayor's Cup, and Mayor,
No, I went there first, but I had to, too fresh off the block, not to show up. People on Facebook with my
my
business.
daughter said it was fun running with the mayor. She said she kept up with you, and she got some now too.
I saw you out there with her. How did she end up having a good time?
That was her first 5K, so,
Really?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but she did good.
To me, seeing the young children run
Mm-hmm.
and gain that confidence, you
Yeah.
know, that to me is really exciting to see. It
Yeah.
makes it really.
Young children, that girl's gonna be a Marine in a year.
Yeah.
I'm still young, Mr. Buzzy. And I gotta say, I think Mr. Lanier pays people. I had like 10 people go, "Did you see Cassius?" And I don't know if you were really ever out there.
Yeah, I'm.
I didn't see him either. I didn't see him.
I was out there slick rapping, but the cleanup started at 11, yeah, but I didn't.
Yeah, because when they call your name, I say, "Where is Cassius?"
It was like 2,000 people out there, right?
I'm gonna start doing
I didn't
that.
take a lot of pics though. I just.
Not no pictures, didn't see
I'm
you.
gonna start doing some better to be, you know, where I don't want to go. I'm just gonna pay people to say I was here.
Yeah.
Did you see
It
Walt?
works.
That's like one year I actually really thought about somebody giving me a lift, so about a mile out, half a mile out, like a record
I'll
time.
get you a dopamine. No, I didn't make a loop though.
Oh, wow. All righty. Is there any council members that need to have anything to add? All right, is there a motion that we adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?